So before I get into the topic of this video today, I want to update you on what's going on just recently, this past week. We went through the largest or longest cloud period that we've been through since I've upgraded the solar panels and got more energy out of them this last summer. So starting, I guess, in June timeframe maybe, we upgraded the solar panels so we could actually start running the well off the solar panels instead of off the generator. So last Tuesday, this is Tuesday today, so last Tuesday it turned cloudy. I don't know, sometime last week, maybe it was Thursday or Friday, I told you that I probably will have to run the generator to fill the IBC tank with water. Probably would have to do laundry at some point. With the new wash machine, it was either fill the tubs with water or just wait until it's sunny or run the generator to do laundry. Well, it turned out that on Saturday, it sunned up for maybe 2 hours, but it was enough. So I was able to fill the tank on Saturday, top it off, which got us to today, which was Tuesday. And I was able to get the laundry done and fill the tank. So we made it without having to run the generator. I really pushed it. What did I say pushed it? I pushed my ability to say, okay, I can hold off. And we did it. So this has been the big challenge that I wanted to experience since we upgraded the solar panels. Could we remain completely off grid, depending on what your definition is? Running the generator doesn't necessarily to me mean that we're not off grid, but some people believe you run the generator, you're not off grid. A lot of people want to talk about SHTF, stuff hits the fan. Because apparently when you live off grid, that's the only thing you're concerned about. I'm not, but a lot of people are. I think now, for sure, that if the grid went down for an extended period of time, months or years, that we could make it. So the only thing we have now that we struggle with when it comes to cloudy days and solar panels is the freezer. But you figure that we won't need the freezer in an SHTF. We would just start canning our food. I mean, we can now. I've got tons of videos on that. You can go to my playlist on YouTube channel, go to canning, and I got them all, well, maybe not even all of them. I got a bunch of them listed on how to can meat. So the freezer would be shut off. So the only thing really then that we would have to run off solar is the well. That would be the only really mandatory thing we'd have to run. Oh, and then maybe some fans, to keep cool. So we got the wood heat in the winter. We got plenty of firewood. So I think we are technically considered self-sustaining. We got our own food source with the chickens. We can grow our own seeds and sunflower seeds and different things for the chickens. We want to get a bigger flock. We've had some troubles with that, but we're well on the way of being, let's just call it 95% self-sufficient. And I don't think the other 5% would take much to overcome. We've learned all the failures that we can have if SHTF were to happen. So I'll get more into that in a bit. One of the things I did though, which I haven't really done in the past too much, is I collected rainwater off our well. I mean, I've collected rainwater, but it was always in the buckets. So 2 buckets, and that's good for toilet water and chicken water. So the chickens can have water. It turned out during this cloudy period, the bucket that I put the water in for the chickens, they have little cups in it that fill up, and as they drink it, it fills up and stops. And well, one of those cups developed a leak, and I lost all the water, which was a really bad time to lose water. Couldn't really run the well unless I wanted to run the generator, so it was a real experiment. Well, it rained, so I was able to fill these buckets with water. The other thing I did was this tub here we used to use for laundry before we got the wash machine. So I filled it with water also. Any water that we don't want to use for drinking or cleaning, or, just the chickens. And Carolyn even said she would use this water for laundry if necessary. So I could have carried buckets of water into the house, dumped it into the wash machine if we wanted to run the wash machine. Or she could have just done the laundry out of the tubs like she used to. She's not completely finicky about the cleanliness of the water. Although this is pretty clean, I don't think I want to drink it. It would probably clog the Berkey pretty quick. It's good enough for laundry. My Christmas video, I don't think many people got the point of. People celebrate Christmas by buying things. And my whole video was to stop buying things. So I don't know how many people watched prepper channels on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, but you know what? They're all selling something. I got something I want you to buy. I got a solar generator. I got 1,000,000 years worth of food that you can stockpile. And I'm telling you, no, don't buy. Carolyn and I have tried to minimize our lives, and as a result, we have been able to reduce our needs. Downsized our house, which was the whole Christmas video. Downsized our house, downsized our, well, the truck has been downsized. Downsized our electric needs, but preppers keep telling you to upsize. Their whole philosophy in life is to buy and stockpile and hoard to prepare for SHTF. But I'm saying, if you want to survive SHTF, stop stockpiling. It's an inefficient way or ineffective way to survive. You're stockpiling food. Eventually you're going to run out of food. You have to figure out how to get more food. And if you're not growing or raising your food, now people are going to say, oh yeah, I grow my food, I got a garden. That's fine, I'm a carnivore. And carnivore actually allows me to eat less. I don't understand the science behind it, but it sure is working out that way that I don't eat as much. If you're growing a garden, you're not going to be able to produce enough food. It's not possible. You'd have to have acres of land to grow food to survive. You're burning sugar. Carbohydrates and vegetables and all that is sugar. Think about rice. That's the thing that preppers want you to buy, rice. So you go to a Chinese restaurant, you eat a bunch of rice, you spend 20 bucks on the buffet, you're stuffed, you leave, unbuckle your belt, you get in the car, 20 minutes later you're hungry again. That's because the rice turned into sugar, your body burned it off, and that was it. Whereas with meat, it can last hours. You're stockpiling a bunch of food that is not going to be effective for you. Oh, but you need the energy. Meat, in fact, gives you energy. There's a lot of science behind this, that the reason your body needs sugar is because your body is adjusted to sugar. You've been eating sugar so long, that's all the body knows. So once you get off the sugar addiction, which everybody's addicted to sugar, and you start eating fats, your body will say, oh, I can eat fat, I can use that as energy. Meat has everything you need, and you just don't need as much of it. So like I was saying, my Christmas video was about people complain in this country that it's a commercialized country. Buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Then I watch all these preppers. They're selling you all this stuff. Well, I had a commenter come over and try to explain to me why what he did worked with my video. He says, I understand what you mean about downsizing. I just bought me, I mean, the alarms just went off in my head. I was literally saying, stop buying so much. Buy the best that you need, but don't buy the best. I just bought me a solar generator. And he told me how much he paid for it. I was, oh man, this is crazy. He spent more on that solar generator than I have spent in my entire solar panel setup, with solar panels, batteries, inverters, and my generator. If you look into my generator, he spent more than all of that. He was telling me, I can last 3 days on this generator. If the power goes out, 3 days. I just didn't understand the spending. One of the criticisms we get is about cooking. Well, you use propane for cooking. Once SHTF happens, you'll never be able to cook again. You're going to starve to death. Okay, genius prepper, what are you going to do? They don't have an answer to that. They just want to criticize because they don't have an answer. I've explained this many times. This is Carolyn's outdoor cooking center. This is all the firewood that she can use to cook outdoors. But the thing is she is very experienced at this. One of the things that I used to get criticized all the time about was having Carolyn do the laundry outside in the wash buckets. That's just too much work. You can't make her to do that all the time, which I never made her. She absolutely wanted to do the laundry in those tubs. I didn't buy the wash machine until, well, obviously I got tons of complaints on YouTube, But finally, my mother told me that told us that we needed to get a wash machine. And I figured, well, my mother went to the dark side, so I guess I better get a wash machine. So we got a wash machine. The thing is we can completely run the wash machine. It's one of these little small apartment ones. I've showed it to you before. And it uses 300 watts. Today, we were able to test it pretty significantly. So we have went a week without doing any laundry. We were able to put all that laundry, the week's worth of laundry, into well, here it is. She did all the laundry here. So we were able to put all that laundry into the wash machine, and it uses about 40 gallons of water, which it does use quite a bit of water, but probably not as much or equal to those tubs. The difference is it takes it out of the IBC tank. So to me, visually, it feels like it's using more water, but it doesn't. As far as the well is concerned, it's running the same amount. Now, see, this is what's interesting is I knew it was going to cloud up today after we filled the tank and ran the wash machine. So 9 o'clock this morning, we started the wash machine. By 10:30, I was able to start filling the IBC tank. So it's clouding up. This does not mean we're not going to get any charge into our batteries. We'll probably get about 20 amps for the rest of the day, whereas with full sun, we can get 50 amps. The point of this video is preppers don't know how to live in an SHTF. Now, when I say this, people are going to say, oh, you're being arrogant and all that kind of stuff. I would say that Carolyn and I live closer to the side of SHTF than preppers do. Preppers are trying to prepare to not diminish their lifestyle, live in a fancy home with the washing machine and dishwasher. I literally watched a video where a guy says, the only thing we won't be able to run, I think he said the dishwasher. So we got to work on that problem. Well, here's a simple solution to the problem of no dishwasher. You fill your sink up with water and you wash the dishes. I mean, that's what we do now. We don't have a dishwasher. The washing machine is an absolute luxury here. They're trying to figure out how to make a smooth transition without having any extra labor. But then they talk about how they're going to have to be working from sun up to sundown every day because SHTF. But they're not explaining any of it to me. They just go and spend money hand over fist, and most of them will fail. And the reason they will fail is things go wrong. And the time for things to go wrong is not during SHTF. The time for things to go wrong is right now when you can go to the hardware store and fix it. One of the failures we had, we bought a ton of chicken feed. I bet 6 or 7 bags of chicken feed. And we had these plastic trash cans. Well, one of them. And we filled the plastic trash can with the chicken feed, and I used to just dip right into it and feed the chickens with it. Well, for some reason, this brand new plastic trash can leaked and all that food molded. Oh, I was devastated. Just absolutely devastated. What am I gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do. I'm going to town, I'm gonna buy more food, and we ended up buying a barrel, one that had a bolt lock on the thing that you could screw it down so it wouldn't leak. So we were able to make adjustments and fix our problem without the chicken starving to death, because the chicken starved to death, we starved to death. But if that happens during SHTF where you just harvested all summer's worth of corn and it got wet and molded and you couldn't feed it to the chickens, you're going to starve to death. So the time to find out if your systems work is now. But preppers don't do that. Heck, preppers barely even talk to you about how well their systems work or if they're actually doing anything. There's one prepper that I have seen that does show us day-to-day activities. But the others, they just sit in a chair and they talk to you in a voice and they're like, I'm just the king of the world and you're gonna do it my way. And if you say that I'm doing it wrong, then I'm just gonna name call you. Because that's what they do. They don't come up with a better strategy. They don't come up with an argument that makes sense. They just name call. And then they try to critique you and tell you what's wrong. We're like, well, you still use propane, so you're not gonna make it. All the while they're using propane as their backup heat source. Okay, so if propane is not the way to go, then why do you have it? I have showed you that we can cook without propane. We can heat water without propane on our wood stove or out here. I can still get water, clean water, You know, a lot of people, these preppers are talking about, I got a lake in the back. Okay, how are you going to clean it? Are you going to clean it? Have you ever drank dirty water? It's nasty. I've done it. When the camper burned down, we had to drink dirty water. I mean, you can purify it with bleach. It wants to come up more than it wants to go down. I got a Berkey. Berkeys last 7 years, and if you overuse them, they're going to last a year. I know this because when we were traveling, we took water out of streams and we Berkeyed the water, and we replaced filters every year. Now we're on well. That Berkey has been being used for 4 years now. I haven't had to replace the filters. Making us spend thousands of dollars on solar generators does not make us any better prepared. So if you'll click this up next box to take you to a video where I was talking about my neighbors are upset with me. So if I can inspire you to downsize your lives, it is so much better. Thanks for watching.